we have looked at previously a few type of uh, value returning functions. We have integer based and character based, and we also have looked at the void functions. Now, if let's say you want to have a boolean returning function, okay, so if you want to use this function just to check whether it's true, a certain condition is true or false, so you can use a returning boolean returning function. Okay, so the function return true or false, but you need to declare the return type as bool, and the function body must contain return statement which is true or false. Okay, calling function can be used uh, in a relational expression. So for example, in real program 6.5, you can see that there is a function called bool is given. So it's a boolean type function, returning function. It will return the boolean value, either true or false. The name is even, and it accepts an integer value. Okay, so it's being called this way is even val. So whatever the value that is being seen by the user val, then it will check whether it's even or not. Okay, so you can see here, so if the number in your is even function definition, you can see that it has boolean status. If the number modulus by 2 is equal to 0, then the status will be true, else the status will be false, and it will return the status which is either true or false. Okay, so this will go back to this uh, calling point. Okay, and then if it's true, then what happened, else is what happened. Okay, so if it's true, it's even. If it's false, if the whatever being written by this function is true, it's even, and if it's false, it's odd. Okay, you can try it on your own. Okay, so let's look at local and global variables. As I mentioned earlier, um, you can see that even I've talked about num1 and num2 being the local variable for the main function, and a, b, and c being the local variable for to print hello. So they could not if you are in main, you could you could not see what's in print hello, and when you are in print hello, you cannot see what's in the main, what's variable in the main. So in order to communicate them through, you need to use uh, parameter passing. What we have learned so far is by by copy value, alright, which means that num1 is copied to a. Alright, that's how you pass the parameter, the variable, from the main to the function. Okay, so there's another way called global variables. Okay, so this slide is talking about variables that is defined inside a function are local to that function. So that's exactly what I have mentioned earlier. Num1 is local to main, and a is local to print hello. Okay, so when the hidden here, the word hidden, because the variables defined in function are hidden, means when you are in main, you cannot see uh, variable a, b, and c. They are hidden from you because the scope of that variable, it doesn't overlap with the main function. Okay, it has a function call, yes, but it only alive, this function only alive throughout the function call. Okay, right, so let's move to the next slide. Program 6.16 showing you the local variables. Okay, so when the program is executing in main, the num variable defined in main is visible. Okay, and when another function is called, however, only variable defined inside it are visible. So this another function cannot see the num inside the function main, and vice versa. Okay, so the num variable in main is hidden. So when a function begins, its local variables and parameter variables are created in memory, and when the function ends, the local variables and parameter variables are destroyed. Okay, so how does it begins and end when the function call started? Okay, when the function call started, it begins, and when the whole function function ended with curly braces for void function, and with return statement for value returning functions, then it's end. Okay, so all the whatever variables being declared inside these um, functions will be destroyed. So anything that being stored here will also be destroyed. So you can unless you communicate back lah, like this you return choice, you return C or A plus B, so that one will not be destroyed because you bring it back to the main. Yeah. So another way is to have a global variable that is visible to all functions within your page, source page, okay, source code page. So how this global variable, you declare it on top of your main, not inside the main but on top of your main, and is accessible by all the functions uh, on your source code page, on that page. Okay, so the scope is the portion of the program from the variable definition to the end. Okay, to the end of the page. Okay, for example, if you want we can use num int 3 equal to 100. Okay, so now I don't need to use I can just use, like, let's change this. I'll just delete it. See out printing num3 from main. I'll just put this num3 and then copy this. And this is from print hello. In order to show that call print hello. Now we'll just make print hello without the argument. Compile. You forget the semicolon. So you can see that without I didn't pass any parameters between the functions, between the main functions and the print hello functions, but it still can access num3. Okay, because it's a global variable, so anywhere within the page, everyone can see it, every functions can see it, so you can use it. But the disadvantage of these global variables, that it makes your program difficult to debug, as if you have a long program you tend to make mistakes. Okay, one way to make advantage of these global variables is to make it global constants. in which to declare a value that is always constant. Sometimes you want a static value like pi is always 3.14, a variable value that would not change um, throughout the execution of this page. Okay, so let's look at an example in this program 6.19. So if you have the pay rate constant double pay rate, you see the declaration is being made on top of the mean. Okay, so pay rate base hours uh, overtime multiplier. Okay, so these are constants. So this is where you might benefit from using global variables. You declare it as global constants. Okay, then these constants are being used in several places in the program in 6.19, but is just used as a reference value. If hours pay more than base hours, there is nothing being done that make changes to the value of base hours throughout the program, because it's a constant, and it has you're not changing the value. Okay, so you can try that out as well. So local variables are not automatically initialized. They must be initialized by programmers. So make sure when you declare your local variable inside your functions, you need to have initialization. And global variable non-constants like none are automatically initialized to 0. If you don't have an initial value, it will like this, then it will automatically initialize to 0 or null when it's character. We just define. Okay, let's look at another type of variables, which is static local variables. um, as we know, local variables only exist while the function is executing. When the function terminates, the contents of local variables are lost or deleted. Okay, so static local variables is a bit different, in which it retain their contents between function calls. And these variables are defined initialized only the first time the function is executed. 0 is the default initialization value, and the value is being uh, carried forward and or continue after it's being called on the next call. Okay, so in order to do this, let's clean our screen with all these function. Click from there. I think so we need the void function. Let's see. Oh, okay, we can use the void function. Delete the addition. So now we have two functions only. We have void functions. So let's change the name. So that's easier for you.